YB, recently you explained about how our agreement with the US is not as good as the Cambodia with the US, right? But the PM said that we have exit clauses that help us in any way in protecting.
Well, any agreement has an exit clause. The structure of the reciprocal tariff agreement is almost similar between US and ASEAN countries. So if you compare the clauses, the framework, whether it's Malaysia, whether it's Cambodia, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Vietnam, it has all those similar terms. But the devil is in the details, you know. And the details and the commitment that Malaysia has given is very onerous in terms of how strong we have to follow, as well as in terms of how much money we had committed. Okay, that's number one. Hence, you know, a lot of comments being given now lah. I mean, I didn't want to butt in initially. I trust the process and so on, but I have to do my job and I have to read. When I read and I compare, I am concerned. So of course, in any agreement like this, you can exit, you can terminate, even US can terminate. But that's the problem. When you reach the point when you terminate an agreement like this, that means that it already reaches a point of breakdown in commercial and diplomatic relationship with US, which means that for all intent and purposes, no country is going to exit that agreement. So it's a blank check, almost like a blank check for the US. Now that it's written, they can basically demand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up to them whether they want to press or not. You know, so if they press, say for example, if they press and we don't want to do it, obviously you can break, of course, you can terminate the agreement, or they can say that you have breached the agreement, therefore we will punish you. But by that time, you know, is basically it renders the whole discussion, negotiation useless. So that's why you want to make sure that the negotiation at least provides ample room for us from the very beginning. So if there is no comparable agreement with Cambodia, then I wouldn't say a thing. Masalahnya, you have to ask the question, how come Cambodia can actually negotiate a much better clause than us? Cambodia made it very clear, especially on 5.1 complementary action, that nothing can compel them that is against their national sovereignty. We don't have. Kita kena, you know, so basically now we have signed an agreement that we have committed to doing certain things. If we don't want to do it later down the road, of course, US kata, okay lah, you nak terminate, you terminate, but there are consequences to your termination. Likewise, if you don't do it, there are consequences to your not following what we do because you have signed it. By that time, then, you know, it's like all these things about trying to maintain relationship, the dancing and so on, is water under the bridge lah. So that's why I wish that if we had to take longer time to sign it, perhaps we should have done that. Because after all, only Malaysia and Cambodia had signed it so far now. Thailand had not signed it. Vietnam has not signed it. Thailand dengan Vietnam only has framework because you agree on a framework dulu and then you negotiate, you sign kan. Thailand dengan Vietnam only ada framework. Indonesia dengan Singapore framework pun tak agree lagi. They are still negotiating. Of course, people will say that, oh, it's better for us to be there first and so on. But that's where the fine line is lah. If we are seen to be too eager to please, to the point that we start having questionable terms, then, you know, it defeats the purpose of being there first other than other people lah. I mean, wearing my thinking cap lah. I would betray my duty if I just go and say that it's all nice. There's a lot, you know. So whether or not, you know, government responds to it, I don't think government will respond to it because it's water under the bridge. You dah sign, Trump dah datang dance. You think that Trump will accept kalau Malaysia after this 2 months down the line kata, oh, we think that is a bad deal, we want to revise it, or we think is a bad deal, we want to terminate it. Canada salah komen sikit je dia dah naikkan tarif. So most probably what Malaysia has to do now is just swallow it. Which that is why I think as much as is water under the bridge, I think government needs to reflect that a lot of the concerns ni is actually valid concern. Of course lah, you know, you may not like what opposition cakap or the way they say it. They politicize it, cakap ini perjanjian syaitan and so on. I'm not interested in that. I'm actually interested in the actual details, and having gone through it bit by bit, I am concerned. There's not even any specific reference to national sovereignty of Malaysia. Sama juga contohnya kekangan. Contohnya I can't remember clause 4 yang pasal nuklear. Itu saya bagi contoh. Ada satu clause yang mengatakan bahawa kerajaan Malaysia akan mengadakan mekanisme untuk bekerjasama dengan US, if I'm not mistaken, untuk menyemak pelaburan-pelaburan yang masuk ke Malaysia supaya dia tidak bertentangan dengan kepentingan security dan ekonomi US. Does that mean that lepas ni FDI nak masuk ni kita kena follow US kata Huawei saya tak suka, yang ini Chinese company saya tak nak bagi. So you know, I mean at face value, I'm not privy to what they discuss dalam kerajaan. Jawapan Tengku Zafrul kepada Parlimen setakat ini is oversimplifying and just wash it, basically sweep under the carpet. Jawapan dia jangan marah penjawat awam. Jawapan dia benda ni kita tertekan sebab kita kena runding, kita kesuntukan masa, ini dah cukup baik. That's not good enough for us. Kan? So I mean, I'm sorry kalau contohnya nampaknya kritikan saya itu juga Tun Mahathir pun sebut yang sama, pembangkang pun sebut yang sama. But I think kalau you baca ekonomis dalam Bloomberg pun sebut yang sama. Kalau tengok international review, semua kata is a very lopsided agreement. So what I hope, my lending my voice to this issue, I hope government jangan sweep under the carpet lah. Sebab people can read now. Dia boleh tengok kan perjanjian demi perjanjian. Dan yang paling damning to us, bila kita compare dengan Cambodia or even Thailand.